I'm going to make a little drawing. It's going to be a sort of minimalistic drawing in which I only draw the eyes, the nose and the mouth, but not really shadows of the face. And I start with the eye. I like to start with eyes. I'm hatching a little bit. Short hatchings in a vertical direction, which makes some sort of eyelashes. The pupil. And I like to use just simple materials. So I just use an HB pencil, and I will put a link to an Amazon listing of the paper. It's Canson mixed media, 300 grams. And oops, adding hatchings here and there, accentuations. So I'm really not very disciplined in drawing a line drawing first or something. You could do that, but I'm not very disciplined when I make these drawings. I usually just start drawing the eye. Maybe I should do that a bit more. First draw the outlines. And here the tear duct. And as I go along, I add some details to the eye. Now I'm measuring a little bit where I should put the other eyes, so I made some sort of horizontal gesture here to get that position right. And when I draw the other eye, I think by myself that between those two eyes there must be space for a third eye. So that's usually something that you can have in mind when you draw the other eye as well. I don't like to make drawings in a too schematic way, but it can be convenient to have some sort of measurement in your head for that. So between two eyes usually there is space for a third eye. And now I'm also drawing this eye, of course, adding accentuations to the pupil, or the eye in general. Not sure if I drew the iris a little bit too high or something. I made this drawing a few days ago, so I'm now adding commentary, but I'm looking at my own hand make a drawing, and half of it I have forgotten already how this went. Adding hatchings and accentuations. I'm not really drawing lines, as you can see. I do not really have a very linear approach in drawing, so maybe I should try that. And I just added some accentuations to the first eye, and now I'll go to the second eye again, adding some shadow there. With a minimalistic drawing like this, there shouldn't be too much shadow. And it's good to think about that beforehand, what kind of drawing that you want to make. Because if you want to make a sort of minimalistic drawing in which you don't really add much shadow, but you can draw the eyes and the nose and the mouth, then if you draw a little bit too much shadow, you have to do them all over the drawing, otherwise it's out of balance, so to speak. Here I'm drawing also the white of the eye a bit darker. It's important to do that too. I measured the nose a little bit by drawing by gesturing the angles from the eyes, and from the left tear duct of that right eye I made a gesture below to go down to see where the nostril should be placed. Here I'm adding a little shadow of the nose. Adding a little bit of outline of the nostril, the shadow of the nose now. And I just go on. And here I'm also adding some accentuations again to the eye. So while I'm drawing the nose, when I see something at another spot, I'll do that too. So it's not a very methodical approach, not always. Here I'm placing the mouth, and as you can see I'm measuring from the pupils or the iris to below. So when you draw the outlines, you are constantly measuring where certain parts should be placed, and you can see whether the corner of a mouth is placed about the same height or width as for example the left part of the iris of an eye, of the right eye or something, or the right side of an iris. So you can measure the position relative to the other parts in a face that you have already drawn. Here's some shadow to define the space between the mouth and the nose. And there's some shadow to get the nose, to get the mouth defined. And now there's the question to what extent I complete this drawing. How much shadow do I add? How much detail? I think I put the corner of the mouth too much to the right, so I'm erasing a little bit, which I do not do often. But when you do erase, I would advise you to not use the pink erasers on the back side of the pencil, because they leave a pinkish trace on the paper, so you don't want that. It's best to have a kneaded eraser ready if you need it. It's nice to make a drawing with only erasers almost. It's also interesting. Here I'm adding accentuations to the mouth, the space between the two lips. It can be very good, very interesting to add something to the expressions by doing those accentuations. I'm trying to model the nose a little bit. She looks kind of sad. But it's interesting to get such an expression in the drawing. The eyebrows. And with a minimalistic drawing, it's the question to what extent am I going to draw eyebrows or something. Well, I think eyebrows are needed. If you leave them out, it would miss something, I think. But I should try that perhaps. You can try it Are eyes and nose and mouths enough, or do you need eyebrows as well in such a drawing? A little accentuation here and there. The eyebrows as well. Some accentuations can add very much to the expression of a face. Nose a little bit extra accentuated there. And now there's the face in which you see all kinds of things towards the end. So this is the face where you have to watch out not to ruin the drawing. Ah, it's finished. I quit on time, I think. Thank you for your attention, and please subscribe if you haven't already done that. And if you want to comment, I always like that. Thank you very much for watching this video of mine.